Welcome to the Fantasy Theory. My name is Eric. Bring it in for the real thing. Today we are going to be doing another mock draft on Underdog. Hopefully we won't get the 7th pick. I did one earlier today where I tried to record and was not ready. It snuck up on me, and I got the 7th pick in that one. So we're not gonna use that one. Even if I had been ready, I would rather have not used that one. But we jumped into one here. We'll see where they put us. It actually just filled as I'm talking. We are the 101. Get some. Yes, sir. Hell yes. All right. So we got 50 seconds before the draft starts. Let's just, you know what? Boop. Let's jump over here real quick. Let's just put Christian McCaffrey in the old queue so I don't time out like I did with our first pick last time. Good Lord. So, all right. 30 seconds. What's going on today? There's not a lot of news necessarily. Just not a lot. Big stuff going on. As I'm recording this, today is Sunday, which is Father's Day. You guys won't be seeing this until Tuesday, though. So a belated Happy Father's Day to anybody who is a father who is watching. Went out to breakfast with my dad and my brother, both fathers, and had a wonderful breakfast, a wonderful time this morning. And then with Janelle's dad this evening, I had an equally wonderful time. We played Phase 10. If you've not played Phase 10 before, it is an absolutely delightful card game. And I got crushed by her mom at the last second. It was unfortunate. I thought I was going to get that one. All right, we're the 101. I mean, we're taking Christian McCaffrey. It's I don't know what you want me to tell you. Christian McCaffrey is the 101. I mean, even in the couple of games that he played last year, he was still just like absolutely ridiculous. And like, I was actually watching Christian McCaffrey highlights. I'm going through and doing some like player name cards so that I can put on the Instagram and stuff. And I was trying to find out the most common home jersey, because I see when you Google home jerseys, they've got the black jerseys, but they generally wear the teal jerseys with the white numbers. And anyway, watching some Christian McCaffrey highlights to get a look at the jerseys, and like they're like, oh, Christian McCaffrey with his second touchdown of the day. Oh, Christian McCaffrey with his second touchdown here today, and Christian McCaffrey with his second touchdown today. And it's like, God, is it more surprising if Christian McCaffrey were to score one or fewer touchdowns than 2 touchdowns at this point? Like, it's close, right? And that's ridiculous. Christian McCaffrey, the 101, not close. All right. So number 2, Dalvin Cook. That one, I think, equally not close. Number 3, Derrick Henry. The number 3 is where the weird pivot is. Like, do you take Derrick Henry? Do you take Alvin Kamara? Do you take Saquon Barkley? The number 3 pick is the first person who I think is really put to the test. In this league, it was Derrick Henry, followed by Jonathan Taylor. Love to see it. Then Alvin Kamara and Saquon Barkley at 6. He is somebody who I feel like his stock is just going to continue to fluctuate until we get a really good idea of what's going on with his ACL, where he's at in his recovery. So Saquon Barkley at 6, Zeke at 107, Travis Kelce at 108. He keeps moving up further and further in the first round. And let me not make the mistake that I did last time. Let's move me to the center. There it is. That way I don't block the team, so you can follow that as we go. All right, so Kelce followed by Tyreek Hill. I have seen that a lot, that Kelce and Hill. Hill seems like the 1-0 or the first wide receiver off the board in most of these drafts that I do. Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb, and Najee Harris has creeped into the first round. My goodness, that seems, with the way that offensive line is in Pittsburgh, I don't know, man. Like Najee over like especially Austin Eckler when this is half PPR. Yeah, half PPR. Just so I had to make sure so I didn't sound like a knucklehead more than I already would if I didn't check that. So to take Najee over Austin Eckler, or I guess in addition to Austin Eckler, because this was taken on the turn here. I don't know, man. That's a little too much for Najee Harris for my taste. Cam Akers still hadn't gone. Took him over Cam Akers. I don't love it. Boy, oh boy. Diggs as the second wide receiver off the board. Calvin Ridley as the third. Good Lord. Then Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, and Joe Mixon at the 207. We're getting back to us on the turn here. Antonio Gibson goes. So we've got we've got a lot of great options here at the turn for us, which is absolutely fantastic. Darren Waller goes before George Kittle? I don't know about all that. I guess maybe he's concerned about the transition from Garoppolo to Lance, maybe? I don't know. So when it comes time for our pick, I think I would like to take one of these stud wide receivers. All right, A.J. Brown goes. I am somebody who I'm going to have probably double the amount of wide receivers on my team that I have running backs, like 4 to 8 or somewhere in that range. I do like to have a lot of wide receivers because in this half PPR thing, I think you're more likely to find somebody who's going to break out week to week at your wide receiver spot. So people who are in consideration for me here, DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, I suppose, Michael Thomas I would have above Justin Jefferson, George Kittle certainly, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, somebody who went just before us, somebody I would have thought about taking. We are going to take DK Metcalf with the first pick. I think he's poised to kind of build on what he did last year and continue to progress and be great. With our next pick here, man, I'm kind of torn. I don't think it's Justin Jefferson for me. I think the only other person I'm looking at here is Keenan Allen. Amari Cooper's not going to come back to us. He's somebody that I really do like. Keenan Allen I love. I think Michael Thomas is going to be the pick for me, though. I think whether it's Jameis or Taysom in New Orleans, I think Michael Thomas is going to be as fantastic as we've come to expect, well over 1,000 yards. And, if it's Jameis, his touchdown ceiling might go up like it's always been for Mike Evans. So I think Michael Thomas in for very, very much a bounce back here. Could have taken George Kittle, but I just don't think that the tight ends have as much value in best ball. I'm going to take a couple of people at the back here, probably 2 or 3 tight ends, and just hope that each week I can get enough production out of them. If they catch a tight end, they're going to be. If they catch a touchdown, they're going to be up there with Kittle and Waller anyway. Hit 40, 50 yards and a touchdown is going to give me enough production that I will be satisfied with what we get out of them. So after our picks, let's go back here. George Kittle did go immediately after, followed by Justin Jefferson and Amari Cooper and Keenan Allen. So all of the people that we talked about, everybody else was waiting to see which one would fall to them of the people that I did not take. Then DeAndre Swift, Allen Robinson, and Miles Sanders. Man, oh man, Swift and Sanders. Like it seems like even in this third round, like let's see who's still available at running back. Like is Chris Carson? Yeah, Chris Carson's still available. I don't know about Swift and Sanders, especially here. I just feel like Swift, I do expect to be good. He was good last year. I do expect him to be good still. It's just on that team, the scoring opportunities are going to go down, and I don't know yet exactly what to expect out of him. And then Miles Sanders, I don't know if anybody knows what to expect out of him. The way that backfield continues to evolve, it does not seem like Miles Sanders is the man that they want to give all of their carries to. Get a couple more receivers after that. CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin, I feel like this here at the 310, that's probably going to be a huge value. You saw what Ryan Fitzpatrick did for Devontae Parker's career. I was going to say Devontae Adams. He didn't do anything for Devontae Adams' career. For Devontae Parker's career in Miami, he'll latch onto that guy. He'll feed him relentlessly. Terry McLaurin is somebody who I would love to have some shares of. I don't know if I have any exposure to Terry so far in these best ball drafts. And I think the next one of these that we do, I think is going to be the one for the Mega Millions, the $25 entry. It's not Mega Millions, that's lottery. I think I said that last time too. It's Best Ball Mania is what it's called. $25 entry, first place is $1,001. So I think the next one of these that we'll do is going to be that, and I hope to be able to pick up Terry McLaurin there. We'll see if we find ourselves in a spot where that can happen. Then goes J.K. Dobbins, somebody who I don't love, honestly, especially in this half PPR. He's just not going to catch that many balls. I don't think that he's going to get the carry share between him, Lamar, and Gus Edwards. I think he's going to be totally fine as a low end RB2, maybe high end 3. I think that's my expectation for him. I just don't think that he's not gonna see 260 carries. He's gonna fall below that. I'm fairly confident. And yeah, I don't know that he's got the same ceiling as especially somebody like a Chris Carson or even a David Montgomery, who I think is being undervalued right now. Mike Evans also goes in between them. Patrick Mahomes, the first quarterback off the board here at the start of the 4th round, followed by Robert Woods and DJ Moore. Robert Woods, somebody who I think could also take another step forward here with Matthew Stafford. And the way that they use Robert Woods, I think he's probably primed for a little bit of a bounce back from last year as well. Kyle Pitts, my goodness. He is the 4th tight end off the board. That seems about where he's going. He's got to get pushed up. He's got to produce so much. Our lofty expectations, like your bold prediction for Kyle Pitts, he's going to break all these rookie records. Where he's going, he's got to. We're not drafting him with we're going to take him as the 4th tight end, and then if he breaks all these records, that's going to be great. It's like, no, if he doesn't break records, you're going to be disappointed taking him at the middle part of the 4th round as the 4th tight end off the board. I think. I know tight end is kind of a shit show anyway, so maybe you just kind of got to plant your flag and take your shot where you got it. But I don't know. Him as the 4th tight end, I don't know. Chris Godwin goes. Josh Jacobs, Tyler Lockett, somebody who I think is incredible in best ball because he's, last year he had, 3 games over 30 points. Like, he's just going to win you a week by himself. He's going to give you those crazy blow-up games. So, yeah, somebody I love in... Oh, my God, that was us. I am the biggest idiot in the world. All right, so we took Cooper Kupp because we're terribly smart and really, really love that. God damn it. All right, so who are we going to take with our next pick here? We do need another running back, and I think Travis Etienne probably fits that mold for me. Could take Kyler Murray. He doesn't stack with any, but Kyler Murray seems totally fine. Yeah, let's take Kyler Murray. How about that? Psych, didn't get him switched in time. So now we have 2 Kyler Murrays on the board. All right, Underdog, thanks so much. That's fine though. Travis Etienne is our 2nd running back. That's totally fine. I feel totally fine about that. I think the role that they're going to have him in is definitely going to be the pass catching one. So in the half PPR, he'll probably put together a not quite an Austin Eckler like workload in the passing game, but I think he'll be used. He'll be used a lot, and I could honestly see him taking over the running downs work from James Robinson to a large degree. All right, what's going on here? All right, come on. All right, good. Kyler Murray goes and clears up the error that we had here. So Mike Davis goes. Somebody I don't love in best ball. I feel like I'm being extremely negative on this one. Like, I'm talking about all the people who I think suck. But Mike Davis, I don't know. I don't think he's going to last. He'll get you off to a fine start. He'll be kind of like Todd Gurley was last year. He'll get you off to that fine start, but he's not going to put up RB1 or high-end RB2 numbers consistently over the course of the full year. So I don't love Mike Davis myself. If you do take Mike Davis and you want to take, Javian Hawkins or whoever you think will be the next guy up in the Atlanta backfield later, towards the very, very, very end, because you don't have to take any other Atlanta running back until pretty much the very end. So if that's your strategy, I think that's totally fine. Josh Allen and Kyler Murray both go after Mike Davis, followed by Kenny Golladay and T. Higgins, Lamar Jackson, Kareem Hunt, and T.J. Hawkinson. Deontay Johnson, somebody else who I think stinks out loud. So getting T.J. Hawkinson here at the back of the 5th, I think that's totally fine if that's what you want to do with your tight end position. Again, I am somebody who's going to either take somebody early and I won't do it in best ball. But in redraft, I think I will probably be more inclined to take somebody early, or I'm going to wait and I'm going to probably take at least 2 people who I think have the opportunity to advance this year. This year's George Kittle, this year's Darren Waller, this year's can you say Robert Tonyan? I mean, he finished great last year, but that wasn't a lot due to a breakout performance. He just wouldn't stop catching touchdowns, I guess. Adam Thielen goes, Brandon Ayuk, Odell Beckham at the start of the 6th round here. So who's on the board for us? We've got 3 receivers, 2 running backs. We need certainly a quarterback. Russ is still available to pair with DK Metcalf. And Dak probably won't be there for us. Mark Andrews probably won't be there for us. Could take somebody like Chase Claypool, who I do expect to have a breakout year this year. Yeah, I think Chase Claypool is somebody I'll put on our list here. Russ, certainly somebody I'll put on our list here. Who else? Myles Gaskin does go. Mark Andrews does go. Dak Prescott does go. So those guys are all not available to us just like we thought. And that's totally fine. Yeah, I think Chase and Russ would be the people I would like to take with our swing picks here. Again, keep building on that wide receiver core, and then we'll take a handful of running backs later to kind of fill in here, 2, maybe 3 more. And then we'll take the tight ends a little bit later on. People who I'll be looking at for tight end are going to be, all right, Robbie Anderson and Cortland Sutton just went 6'5" and 6'6". So we've got Dallas Goedert, certainly somebody that I like. I don't know how many pass-catching options Jalen Hurts can sustain, but I do think that Smith and Goddard will be the top 2, and I think he can probably get that done. For 2 people, I think he can probably do that. Noah Fant, certainly somebody that I like. Adam Troutman has a shot if he's the number 2 target there. I mean, he was a monster in college. Certainly he played at a smaller school. I can't remember which school. I want to say Davis, but I don't think that's correct. Jonnu Smith, obviously. I love Jonnu Smith. Even somebody like Gronk, I wouldn't hate taking. Jared Cook, also somebody who I don't hate. We are getting close to being on the clock, though, so let's pay attention here. So, like I said, Robbie Anderson, Cortland Sutton go 6'5", 6'6", followed by Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith. Skipped over Javonte Williams. Yeah, Javonte Williams went at 6'8", then Devonta Smith. Chase Claypool got taken. I hate everybody. So much. All right, so now we got to pivot. Justin Herbert goes. All right, so we're definitely going to take Russell Wilson. So let's take a few seconds here to figure out who our next pick is. I don't like DJ Chark. I don't want to take another running back here. If I did, Chase Edmonds, maybe. Even though he's going to miss week 1, Will Fuller, I think he probably will still be the number 1 in Miami, despite missing the first week. I think he will just pass Devontae Parker. Yeah, we take Russell Wilson there. I think he'll pass Devontae Parker and probably start ahead of Jalen Waddle. I think Will Fuller I have ahead of, Jerry Jeudy, Deebo Samuel, Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd going to be the 3rd option on his team. Jerry Jeudy likely the 2nd, but if it's Drew Lock, I don't love that. Deebo Samuel, I just don't like him as much as his teammate Brandon Ayuk, and since we didn't get him, I think we'll just pass on the 49ers. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll take Will Fuller here, and we'll wait for 1,000 picks before we get to go again. Well, we've got our first quarterback who stacks with DK, so we'll get those big blow-up weeks when DK just breaks off a long one and gets ahead of the defense, or gets behind the defense. Got Michael Gallup going. Then Chase Edmonds goes. So where are we at with our board? Where the heck is the board? There it is. Let's take a quick peek at this since we have enough time. So the guy drafting right around us here, Bear Tank, he's got Cook, Edwards-Helaire, Mike Davis for his running backs, just Jamar Chase and Michael Gallup for wide receivers. I don't love that personally. He does have George Kittle, who we got at the start of the 3rd round, and Justin Herbert, who we got at the back of the 6th round. So I don't love his team myself. Just next to him, Zev, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Tyler Lockett. Love that. Josh Allen, Chase Claypool, and Chase Edmonds. Yeah, this guy's doing the same type of stuff I would do. I like this team a lot. Then my man Jonathan Taylor, Darren Waller, Amari Cooper, Josh Jacobs, Kyler Murray, Devonta Smith, Tyler Boyd. This team's fine. Yeah, this team's fine. Next team, where are we at here? Just keeping an eye on it. I don't want to auto pick, guys. Alvin Kamara, Antonio Gibson, Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, Kenny Golladay, Javonte Williams, Jerry Jeudy. Okay. Next team, Saquon Barkley, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, Kyle Pitts, T. Higgins, Jalen Hurts, DJ Chark. So he smashed running backs early, so he probably won't take any for a bit here. But then his receivers are T. Higgins and DJ Chark. Yeah, it seems a little thin for me. Starting 3 running backs and then a tight end, and then taking your first receiver in round 5. Little thin for my tastes. Next guy here's got Zeke, Hopkins, Robinson, Julio, Lamar Jackson, Cortland Sutton, and Trey Sermon. Love that. Yeah, I don't mind that team at all. Not at all. You've got great receivers here, Hopkins, Robinson, and Julio. Cortland Sutton's probably going to be your flex most weeks. Trey Sermon, he's got every chance to be the next guy up for San Francisco, even though I don't love his talent. I think his situation and the team that he's on, I mean, playing running back for Kyle Shanahan, when has that ever gone wrong for anybody? And then obviously Lamar Jackson, he's going to be mighty fine for your team. And then real quick, we got Travis Kelce, Devontae Adams, Miles Sanders, DJ Moore, Kareem Hunt, Robbie Anderson, Juju Smith-Schuster. Like, your running backs both kind of suck. You got Travis Kelce, I guess, but like, I don't know. I don't like that myself. Our next guy has no running backs yet. Good Lord. Tyreek Hill, Calvin Ridley, CeeDee Lamb, Robert Woods, and Laviska Shenault are his wide receivers. Before Laviska, he took TJ Hawkinson and Dak Prescott. So this guy is going to be crazy stacked at wide receiver. Good for him. No running backs yet. And then he takes Logan Thomas, his second tight end. Who, boy, this guy, I'm interested to see. All right, ZKFFB, remind me that we got to check out this guy's team at the end of it and see who he picks up for running backs. All right, let's jump back. We're just at the start of the 8th here. We don't pick for a couple more. We got one, Aaron Jones, Cam Akers, Terry McLaurin, Patrick Mahomes. So far, love it. Deontay Johnson, and derailed immediately. Mark Andrews, Raheem Mostert, and James Robinson. Started strong. I don't like what they did with the next couple of picks there. All right, let's not do that. Back to the team we go here. How much of that did I cover up for you guys? Yeah, decent amount of it. Got to switch to this when I do that. All right, back to the draft here. Close that down. Back to this. And we're up in a couple of picks here. All right, so who's available to us? Like Antonio Brown, decent. Joe Burrow, I don't really want him. Tom Brady, I could see Tom Brady being someone that we take. Is the Gronker still? Yeah, Gronker's still out there, so we could take Brady and then stack him up with Gronk and Antonio Brown. That could be fine if we can get Brown and Tom Brady here on the turn. I'd be pretty into that. Leonard Fournette, I don't know who's who in the Tampa Bay backfield right now. That's going to take a little bit more looking. Oh, Antonio Brown goes, you rotten bastard, boys for life. It's fine. I don't even care. Why would I care? Stupid anyway. Didn't even want Antonio Brown. All right, come on. Click this chair in so it stops leaning back on me. Crying out loud. All right, so we are most likely going to get Tom Brady here. Who are we going to pair with him? I mean, do we just take our two quarterbacks here? Take Tom Brady, take Ryan Tannehill, and we don't have to worry about quarterback anymore? Certainly could. Mike Williams went. I don't like Tyler Higbee. I don't love Marquise Brown. Joe Burrow, certainly not the next guy up on my quarterback ranking. Leonard Fournette, Zach Moss, I don't love. Melvin Gordon, I do love. I just don't know what his... They're talking about Javonte Williams being the lead back from the get-go. I don't think that that's accurate, but hell, maybe. So, yeah, we'll start with Tom Brady here. And then the question for me is, do we take Ryan Tannehill and then we stop looking at quarterback entirely? Or do we take somebody like maybe Michael Pittman, who has a chance to really outperform this ADP at the start of the 9th round here, get another wide receiver? I just think Ryan Tannehill is going to be kind of busted this year. So let's take. He's got a Week 9 bye, and we need another quarterback who doesn't have a Week 9 bye. So that's certainly something to consider. Yeah, let's take Ryan Tannehill here. That way we cover up our bye week. Thankfully. Something to be aware of, because Russ and Tom Brady are people that I am targeting, that they do have the same bye week. So something I gotta maybe think about a little bit more. Marquise Brown, Leonard Fournette, the next couple off of the board. I'm going to switch back to the actual draft board here. There we go. Now I'm not covering up anything. So we kind of finished right around here. So in that last round, since I didn't kind of cover a lot of those people, at the end of the 7th goes Raheem Mostert, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Cooks. Start the 8th. We've got Damian Harris, somebody I would have liked to have had. Dallas Goedert, James Robinson, Logan Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Curtis Samuel, Jalen Waddle, Michael Carter, who could be the starting running back for the Jets now that Adam Gase isn't there, and you got the coaching staff from San Francisco in there. If he does take that role, he could certainly be a valuable pick there in the 8th. Antonio Brown got stolen from us, rotten bastard. Noah Fant, Mike Williams, he's another guy who's going to put up some decent big games. We, of course, took Tom Brady, Ryan Tannehill, so we are all set at quarterback, in my opinion. And then went Marquise Brown, Leonard Fournette, Zach Moss. Do not love Zach. I mean, I don't know what about the previous 3 years leads you to believe that the Buffalo Bills backfield is a piece that you want anything to do with. I would not. Matthew Stafford then goes. Does this guy have Robert Woods? Is this our Robert Woods owner? It is not. Okay. Joe Burrow then goes to the T. Higgins manager. Tyler Higbee as the first tight end for our River John gentleman. James Conner goes next. And then our zero running back. Wow, he takes Ryan Fitzpatrick. This guy, through 9 rounds, has not a single running back on his team. I don't know what he is doing, but I'm interested to see how he finishes this off. Melvin Gordon, he goes at the back of the 9th round. I mean, man, once Phillip Lindsay left town, Melvin Gordon's stock went straight up. And then when Javonte Williams came to town, them stocks went straight down. My goodness gracious. I don't think that Williams should be going ahead of Melvin Gordon. I really do think Melvin Gordon is going to start as the lead back, and for Williams to go at the 6-8 and Melvin to go at the 9-10, that gap is ridiculous to me. So we finish off the round after Melvin Gordon goes Tony Pollard, one of the better handcuffs if anything happens to Zeke, or if Tony gets his role increased in Dallas. That back of the 9th round pick for Tony Pollard, that is going to be very nice. Aaron Rodgers then goes, starting off the 10th round, we got Mike Gesicki, Michael Pittman, and Corey Davis. Two players who I think are... Corey Davis, I think, a little bit undervalued. He kind of put it together like... I'll talk about Devontae Parker again here. Devontae Parker was somebody who was supposed to be great, and it took him until I think it was exactly year 5 when he finally did break out with Ryan Fitzpatrick there. And last year, Corey Davis, he finally seemed like he got it all together. So maybe that's because he is better suited to play a number 2 wide receiver. So when they put him as the number 1 on the field there in New York, maybe he'll kind of shrivel back up. But I think he's got a chance to be similar to what he was last year. Pittman, I don't know that I love Pittman, but I think his opportunity is certainly going to be there. Gus Edwards goes, Devontae Parker after him, Ronald Jones, Darnell Mooney, and Russell Gage, 2 sleepers that I certainly love. And apparently Joe Schmo 218 and Flavorize This also love them. Darnell Mooney, I mean, it's not going to show up on his highlights, which stinks because, they didn't end up in catches, but like you can probably find videos of Darnell Mooney just making defensive backs look so stupid. So stupid. He would turn them around, break their ankles, put them on the ground, be wide open, and just have the ball come nowhere near him. So with better quarterback play this year, I think we could see something really special out of Darnell Mooney. We are back on the clock here. A.J. Dillon is somebody who I think his role could certainly increase in Green Bay this year. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence, we're good on quarterback. I don't need that. Cole Beasley, he's in the news. We'll talk about him here in just a second. Irv Smith, not somebody I'm terribly interested in. Darrell Henderson, also not interested in. Marvin Jones, he is somebody that I'm certainly interested in. I think there's a real chance that Marvin Jones is the lead receiver for the Jaguars this year. I think Laviska Shenault is supposed to be he's the camp darling, and we'll see if that actually translates to him being the lead receiver on the team this year. But I think with a rookie quarterback, you're probably going to lean on that veteran a little bit more than you would otherwise. Marvin Jones is that veteran, and I think Marvin Jones has a shot to be the lead receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence. So we'll go ahead and we'll pick up Marvin Jones. Let's talk about Cole Beasley. This guy, so it's tough, right? So he said he's not getting the vaccine because he's going to live his life however he wants to. And if you're scared of him infecting you, then stay away from him or get the vaccine yourself if you're worried about it. And it's like, I get it, and I respect your right to not get a vaccine. I don't think that they should be mandatory. I don't think you can tell people what they can and can't do. But in the job that you're doing, you need to make yourself as safe as possible for the people that you're going to be in very, very close proximity to perform your job. So if it's mandatory to do your job, that you get the vaccine, I mean, you either got to get it or you're not going to play. And I mean, that it is what it is. So, I think if you're not going to get the vaccine because you don't want to get the vaccine and you think it's, detrimental to you or whatever your reason is, I mean, whatever, you can't force people. It's not the way that I think, but it takes all kinds. And, I don't know, man, he just, the way he's talking is like very defiant and unnecessary, I feel like. So, hey man, if you're not going to get it, don't get it. But if they don't let you play because you're not getting it, you're not allowed to be mad about that, man. It is what it is. You're in close proximity. People don't want to be taking risks, and if you don't want to get vaccinated, you got to roll with the punches on that one. He's a man who has been known to spread the measles from time to time for years and years. Been spreading those measles out on the field, and now it's a little bit of light has been shed on that. So, Cole Beasley. Certainly excellent on the field, and I don't know. I don't want to judge him for his personal choices, and that's not what you show up for. I'm talking about football here, not about whether or not I think people are dumb. That'll be a different podcast. We'll do that. Who is and who isn't dumb? Oh yeah. old Cole Beasley. All right, back to the football. Let's flip back to, and see, now I'm on the wrong screen again. I'm covering up the team here. Sorry about that. Let's switch back to this, so now I'm covering up less stuff. So, where we stop here, we went through the 10th round. Darnell Mooney, Russell Gage, Mecole Hardman, Kenyon Drake, Trey Lance. We took A.J. Dillon and Marvin Jones. Excuse me, for the third time. My goodness, we had a little bit of chicken for dinner, and it is, I don't know about that chicken. I mean, it was fine, but it's not being cool. It's not being cool. Anyway, Elijah Moore goes. David Johnson, one of the 13 running backs that they're going to be starting there in Houston. Trevor Lawrence does finally go at the 11:04, followed by Rashad Bateman, Cole Beasles, Latavius Murray, Darrell Henderson, Jamal Williams. We'll see what sort of slice of the pie he gets there in Detroit. Could be a good value there at the back of the 11th. Robert Tonyan. Almost certainly not going to repeat what he did last year, but hey, if you can get him at the very, very back of the 11th round, I mean, take a shot, right? Kirk Cousins then goes Irv Smith, Henry Ruggs, who, if John Gruden is to be believed, they might get him more involved this year. I surely do hope so. So, in the start of the 12th round, if he does get more involved, good on him. Justin Fields goes. Who knows when he's going to start? My guess is week 4 after the Rams, the Bengals, and the Browns game. I think they'll let Andy Dalton take those 2 L's against the Rams and the Browns, and then get the revenge game against the Bengals. Then it's time for Justin Fields when that schedule lightens up. That's my guess. Matt Ryan goes. J.D. McKissic, so our zero RB guy, finally takes 3 straight running backs here starting in the 10th. Gus Edwards, Jamal Williams, and J.D. McKissic. Nyheim Hines goes. Adam Troutman goes. Jalen Reagor, Evan Ingram. And now on the clock is Boys for Life. Boys for Life. It's a fine name. All right, we're going to switch back to the center and back to this. Oh, you love to see it, not covering up the team. All right, so where are we going here? Could probably use another running back. We certainly need tight end. We got Tom Brady, so we probably need to look at Gronk in this area. So I think maybe we just go double up on tight ends here, take Jonnu and Gronk, because they're certainly not going to be here when we come back around. Do I love any of these other options? Nelson Aguilar? No. T.Y. Hilton? No. Here, let's real quick, just so we don't auto pick, I'm going to put these guys in there. Paris Campbell? Absolutely not. Tua and Baker? Don't need them. Alexander Madison? I mean, something happens to Dalvin Cook every year, so Alexander Madison is maybe a decent handcuff to take here, but we need to start filling out our tight end group. So I think it's probably worth passing on Alexander Madison. Terrace Marshall, Traquan Smith, John Brown, somebody who I really do like. But yeah, I think getting Jonnu and Rob Gronkowski here, feel pretty good about that. That's going to give us a decent floor at and decent upside at the tight end position. And adjusting back to it. So yeah, we take Jonnu and Gronk. Man, oh man, Devin Singletary in the 12th round. Oh yeah, switch both. Yes. Where did our man Zach Moss? He was on right here. So Zach Moss at the 9:04. Devin Singletary, 12:10, 3.5 rounds later. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, this backfield has just been really, really scummy. Zach Moss was pretty terrible last year. I'm going to actually new window. Let's get this over here. Get that out of everybody's way. I'm going to bring up Zach Moss's stats. All right, where's my sheet? I'll do a tour of all of these sheets that I've got here too at some point. So you don't see them right now, but I will show them to you at some point. So we'll go to the player comparison stats, over to running back. We'll go find Zach Moss. Yeah, yards per carry, below average. Yards after contact, above average. Yards created per touch, above average. Lower on the touchdowns, pretty bad on the targets. So, I mean, decent at running the ball. Not exactly what you want, though. And like I said, that backfield is not where you want to be, I don't think. Josh Allen's going to vulture that goal line more often than you're really comfortable with. So anyway, Devin Singletary, Rondale Moore go. We take Jonnu and Gronk. Then goes Paris Campbell, Nelson Aguilar, T.Y. Hilton, Hunter Henry. So who's my man's got here? Hunter Henry, Evan Ingram. Yeah, he's subscribing to the same strategy I do, that's for sure. John Brown. Great pick there. Tua, is this the guy that took Jalen Waddle? It is absolutely not. And certainly we've got Will Fuller, so in his face. All right, Baker Mayfield goes. Rashad Penny. I mean, is that guy ever going to get on the field, Rashad Penny? It seems like that guy can't catch a single break. Goodness. Poor guy. Carson Wentz then goes. I'm going to take a quick check back in with our team 3, who started off with one of the better beginnings here. The Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson team. Tyler Lockett, Josh Allen, Chase Claypool, Chase Edmonds, Noah Fant. And then he's got Leonard Fournette, Kenyon Drake, David Johnson, Devin Singletary. So he takes the one stud running back in Derrick Henry at the start and then kind of loads up. Chase Edmonds, Leonard Fournette, Kenyon Drake, David Johnson, Devin Singletary. I don't hate that strategy. Takes Nelson Aguilar as well. Could be the leading receiver, wide receiver for the Patriots. I really do think that Jonnu is going to be the leading pass catcher. And it could even be Jacoby Myers that's the leading wide receiver. So Nelson Aguilar, what his role is, we'll see as we get closer. Oh man, I got to put that chocolate rain guy lean away from the mic. Oh yeah, that's going in there. Don't even forget that. So a guy that took no running backs early, he is still slamming them. Gus Edwards, Jamal Williams, J.D. McKissick, Rashad Penny. I don't think this is going to work out for him. You know, like, you're not going to be able to put 2 running backs on the field that are competing with, you know, even the Derrick Henry, Chase Edmonds, Leonard Fournette, Kenyon Drake, David Johnson, Devin Singletary guy. Like, you're not competing with him. And he takes De'Ami Brown. Yeah, this team, thumbs down. He'll probably be towards the bottom as far as projected points would be my guess. I really don't care for that. What else have we got here? Anybody else whose team looks especially good? The Najee Harris, Austin Eckler guy also took David Montgomery. His receivers, Mike Evans, Brandon Ayuk, Odell Beckham, Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is an interesting one, going at the very last pick of the 7th round. If Deshaun Watson comes back, which seems more and more unlikely as time goes by, then Brandon Cooks at the end of the 7th round is going to be an absolute steal. With Tyrod Taylor or Davis Mills, remains to be seen. He takes Damian Harris, Aaron Rodgers, Mike Gesicki, Irv Smith, Henry Ruggs, Zach Wilson, Brashad Perryman. Yeah, this guy's got a lot of upside on his team. I don't mind this team at all. Ooh, we're getting back close to us. Let's jump back. We'll switch that too. All right, we're getting there. We're learning. All right, who's available to us? Denzel Mims. New. Jared Cook. We could take a third tight end here. Jared Cook is certainly somebody who I expect to have weekly value. Who's here at wide receiver? Amon-Ra St. Brown. Certainly somebody who I wouldn't mind adding to the team here. Jacoby Myers, who, like I said, could be the leading receiver for the Patriots this year, leading wide receiver, again, to clarify. AJ Green, who he'll probably be the 3rd target in Arizona. I don't see him putting it back together. I've seen a lot of people who think Olamide Zaccheaus is going to be the number 2 in Atlanta. I lean towards Russell Gage, but certainly I'm starting to do my stats and things now, so we'll see where that actually ends up landing. Now we're getting a little bit down in here. We don't got to go this deep. So Anthony Ferguson, Daniel Jones, Tyrell Williams, Gerald Everett of Rivia to you. They all go. So, yeah, I think let's take our third tight end, Jared Cook, and we'll be totally good at tight end. So we're good at quarterback. We're good at tight end for me. I feel comfortable with those. So we're only taking running backs and wide receivers from here on out. So I'm just going to highlight them. That's all we're going to see. And then I think of the people in this range, people that are definitely not going to get back to us here, Amon-Ra St. Brown is the one that's got the highest upside to me. If there's every chance that he ends up being the number 1 target in Detroit. Jared Goff doesn't like to throw it deep, and Amon-Ra St. Brown likely to run out of the slot more than anybody. So, I mean, he very well could see the most targets there in Detroit this year. So we'll go ahead and we'll scoop up Amon-Ra St. Brown there at the start of the 15th round. We'll see what ends up transpiring with him. With any luck, we're going to have our rosters here, 3 wide receivers, 1 flex. Those spots are going to be filled by DK, Thomas, Kupp, Fuller, or Jones most weeks. So Amon-Ra, hopefully he stays on the bench. We don't need him. But, we don't need him. But if he's got those blow-up games, if he gets 2 touchdown game, if he gets 100 yards on a touchdown, something like that, against a soft defense, something like that, he could find his way onto our team, and then you love it. Because at least if he makes it on there, it's not because everybody else stunk, because we have enough people that's just not going to happen, I don't think. So if Amon-Ra makes it on there, it's going to be because he blew up and had a killer week and is going to be a real asset for us. So let's see. What have we got left? Switch here. We've got 3 picks left. I want at least one of them to be running back, probably 2 of them, some high upside running backs here. And then we'll kind of go over everybody else's team here. I know towards the end here we've kind of fallen off of keeping track of all of the closet doors just randomly open. I'm getting haunted for sure. There's ghosts in here. That's for sure. So anyway, we're going to take some running backs. Take some running backs here that have high upside. Let's take a look here. Who is available? Tevin Coleman, we'll put him. Let's get Jakobi Meyers out of here. We'll put him on the list. If he starts as the lead running back for the Jets because he's got that familiarity with the coaching staff, Coleman could be a value here. Philip Lindsay, I think David Johnson, he's done, man. I think he's cooked. Ooh, Tevin Coleman goes. Fine. Didn't even want him anyway. Darrynton Evans, that is somebody who we were absolutely going to get to. If anything happens to Derrick Henry, Darrynton Evans is going to... he does not play the Derrick Henry role. That is for sure. You're not going to give that guy 300 carries up the middle. No shot. But Darrynton Evans is somebody who has a path, a very clear path if the man in front of him goes down. So Darrynton Evans going there. A little unfortunate, but that's fine. All right, who else? Gio, James White, no. Chuba Hubbard, 100%. I definitely want to get Chuba on this team. It's unfortunate because, I don't love handcuffing in best ball because then you don't get, it's just insurance for your guy. So you don't get, if we took a Tony Pollard, for example, and Zeke went down, then we've got 2 studs. If Christian McCaffrey goes down and we have Chuba, no matter what happens, we have 1 stud with those 2 picks. So it kind of limits the total upside. All right, Philip Lindsay also went. Let's see if Chuba sticks around for us here. Come on. Kenny Gainwell, maybe. Ramondre Stevenson. You never know what's going on there in New England. I do think Damian Williams has a shot if something happens to David Montgomery or if they decide they hate him. Javian Hawkins, also somebody. Mike Davis, I just don't believe in, so I think Javian Hawkins has a clear path for sure. And then Devontae Booker is probably the next person that I would put on that list with the way Saquon, with the way they're talking about him now and the way that ACL is still such an issue. I mean, Devontae Booker may see a lot more touches than we expect. So I think I'm pretty comfortable with these four here. Chuba, definitely somebody that I want just in case something happens to Christian McCaffrey so we don't take as big of a hit. I feel like losing Christian McCaffrey kind of torpedoes us pretty hard. So we want to take Chuba just to be super, super safe. And then probably Booker, Williams, Hawkins, because I think even if something does happen to Mike Davis or if he kind of trails off, Javian Hawkins, I mean, he's an undrafted free agent, so I don't know that he's gonna, he's not gonna step into a workhorse role, that's for sure. Let's get a look at some wide receivers that we can put on here just to kind of round out. Jakobi Meyers still there, sure. AJ Green still there, sure. Maybe he becomes the second target and kind of gets some life back there in the desert. Who did they just take? Jakobi Meyers, that's fine. Kadarius Toney, I don't see it. I think he's got the shot. But yeah, I don't think it's this year with Sterling Shepard, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. Oh, Kadarius Toney's gone. Anyway, don't even have to worry about it. Yes. I don't see a clear path for Toney to kind of usurp that second wide receiver role in New York, and with the way that offensive line is, I think there might be a lot more problems than just his path to the targets. Who else we got here? Olamide Zaccheaus is still there. If he is the number 2 receiver there, that'll be pretty nice for us. Keelan Cole. He's always been fairly productive. All right. So Chuba is still there for us. Chuba is somebody that I think that we've kind of got to back up Christian with. I think he's got the highest upside for us, and he is the biggest stopgap for our team just completely falling apart if Christian McCaffrey goes down. I mean, we've got great wide receivers, but we would have next to nothing at running back if Christian McCaffrey went down. So we'll take Chuba, kind of plug that hole, put a, what's the, all right, quit making noise. The tape that they put over the glass so that it shatters, it doesn't break. Like it's spider webs, but it doesn't break. That's what we're doing. Whatever that is, that's what we've done here. So it'll break, but it won't shatter. And then, yeah, I do think Devontae Booker is the guy with the next most upside. So our last pick is going to be a receiver. Now that we have 5 running backs, that's a lot of running backs. So our next pick is going to be a receiver. We're going to take Damian Williams off of here. We're going to take Javian Hawkins off of here. So it's going to be AJ Green, Olamide Zaccheaus, Keelan Cole. Anybody else in here that's like Travis Fulgham? There was a report that came out today that he is going to be the third receiver on the field in 3 receiver sets, at least to start the year. Jalen Hurts had a really good connection with Greg Ward, but Greg Ward is... Oh, there goes Olamide Zaccheaus. You hate to see it. Greg Ward is not... And there goes AJ Green. My goodness. Why does everybody hate me so much? Anyway, Greg Ward is not a world beater as far as wide receivers go. That much is for sure. So Travis Fulgham being the third receiver in 3 receiver sets, that seems fine. Rager and Smith, obviously, the first 2. Who else do we have here that we could put on the list? Man, I just don't... I mean, do you bet on Deshaun Jackson? I mean, is he going to have a couple games during the course of the year where he just busted coverage, or he beats his man and gets a long touchdown and ends up with 2 for 70 and a touchdown? Maybe. You know who actually just caught my eye is Byron Pringle. There's been a lot of talk that Pringle might be the next man up as far as wide receivers for the Chiefs. Sorry, I was just looking at our quarterbacks here and seeing if we had any stacks that we could do, and the answer is not really. Could take Scotty Miller. That'd be something, huh? But no, we're not doing any of that. So Byron Pringle could be the next wide receiver, and I mean, we've seen Sammy Watkins have some games where he blows up. I mean, if you're the wide receiver 2 for Patrick Mahomes, you got a shot, you got a shot. So if Byron Pringle is that guy, then his upside is decent, decent enough. We've got enough wide receivers that, again, I think he will be on the bench almost every week unless he does something remarkable. And I guess the question is, of the people that we've got in our queue here, gosh dang it, I'm covering up the team again. Shift. My goodness. Of the people that we've got in our queue, Keelan Cole and Byron Pringle, who is more likely to have more games where they produce themselves into a starting role on our team? And I mean, when you think about Keelan Cole's quarterback of the Karate Kid, Dan Smith, BYU himself, Zach Wilson, I don't know that he's going to be able to get Keelan Cole those blow-up games the same way that if Byron Pringle finds himself as the number 2. And I mean, you've got such insane weapons around Byron Pringle that, I mean, he may be running free. I'm picking at my Odell Beckham card. Let me show you this. And then it's going to screw up. There he is. Signed Odell. You love to see it. I love to see it. All right. Anyway, yeah, Byron Pringle with all the attention that Kelsey and Hill certainly get. Byron Pringle, they may just leave him. They may leave him unguarded for all they care. So yeah, I think Byron Pringle is going to be our man's here. Byron Pringle will go ahead and wrap up the team, and then we'll get a look at what we've got. And we'll get a look at all the rest of the team, see how we stack up here. This is a $5 league, so it's, what is it, $60 in the pool, which means that it's like $58 or $56 for the prizes. Boy, if only there was a button that we could click on that would tell us for sure. $54, neither of the numbers that I said. All right. So we'll see how much shmoney we're going to win from this thing here in 6 months, 6.5 months, something like that. All right, come on. They're the last freaking picks, guys. Everybody just left. Bet. Everybody just took off. They're like, last pick, whatever. I'm out of here. All right, while this is winding down, I'm going to put Byron Pringle as the number 1, Keelan Cole's the number 2. I'm going to switch back to this, and we'll go over the last few picks here. See how people are navigating the last few rounds. So we'll start, for a 7th time? Goodness sakes. All right, so Gerald Everett of Riviera, I remember talking about him. We took Jared Cook and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Denzel Mims went, Blake Jarwin, Emmanuel Sanders, Zach Ertz. Who knows what team he's going to be on? Hopefully not Philadelphia, for crying out loud. Get out of there. Tariq Cohen, Bryan Edwards. Bryan Edwards, he had next to no targets last year. Is that right? Let's see. Player stats. LV. Bryan Edwards. 15 targets in 12 games. Yeah, not used at all. So we'll see if maybe he gets involved to any degree here. Tevin Coleman, Darrington Evans, Sterling Shepard, Jameson Crowder, Phillip Lindsay. We've talked about most of those relevant people there. Jameis Winston goes. Let's switch back real quick. I'm not going to change the camera, though, because it's only going to be for 1 second. Did Taysom Hill ever go? Nah, Taysom Hill's still totally available. Is Taysom Hill somebody that we take? I know I said that we're good at quarterback, and we are. But if Taysom Hill wins that starting job, does he have more upside than like a Byron Pringle or a Keelan Cole? Like, look at our. All right, I am going to switch it back because we're going to be here longer than I thought. I thought we were just going to switch back and then out. But like, look at our receivers. You know, we've got 5 receivers. John Cena can't see me. Got 5 receivers that I feel will rotate into the 3 starting and 1 flex most weeks. So I don't know that we need another receiver. I'm pretty happy with them. Does Taysom Hill give us more upside if he wins that starting job, or if he takes over that starting job if Jameis wins it but loses it? Yeah, heck it. What? Can't take him. What the H? That's too bad. All right, so we ended up with Byron Pringle. Given that, I'm sure he's going to end up being a wide receiver 2, 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns. Byron Pringle, the next great thing. So let's look at our team real quick here. And now, once again, to move my camera and also give me the old shrinky dinks. So we got Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Ryan Tannehill. 3 quarterbacks that I am very happy to have. All 3 of them. I haven't finished my projections and my rankings yet. That is going to be pretty much the rest of this month and hopefully only a couple of weeks of July before I have those completely ready. All 3 of them I would certainly expect to be in my top 10. So pretty happy with that. Then we've got Christian McCaffrey. We have the best running back in football. That is not a debate. That is a fact. Travis Etienne is somebody who certainly could finish. I guess it really depends on what happens with James Robinson, whether he finishes as a high-end 3, like in the 25 to 30 range, or like a low-end 2. I think both outcomes are on the table for him. A.J. Dillon, depending on Aaron Rodgers, number 1, depending on his share of the carries, number 2, I do think that they like him there, so I think he will be more involved in carrying the ball than Jamal Williams has been, for example. And then number 3, if something happens to Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon takes over, hoo boy, A.J. Dillon is going to lose his mind. We've got Chuba Hubbard as insurance for Christian McCaffrey and nothing else, which again is unfortunate. I would rather have a Tony Pollard and Alexander Mattison, but they go so much sooner, and there was just no shot we could take them when we had the opportunity to. I don't think it would have been right to do. So Chuba Hubbard as just the insurance for Christian McCaffrey if something wonky happens again, and then Devontae Booker, like I said, with the things that we're hearing about Saquon. If Devontae Booker opens the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long, or if Saquon, splits carries with him or something like that, we don't know what's going on with Saquon. So taking Devontae Booker means that we may have a shot at more production than you would normally get out of a 193rd overall pick. And then, of course, DK Metcalf, who we will stack with Russell Wilson when they go off together. Michael Thomas, Cooper Kupp, Will Fuller, Marvin Jones are our standout wide receivers. I don't remember who we were going to take over Cooper Kupp. You can rewind the video and see. I cannot do that right now, and I cannot remember, so heck. But it was not Cooper Kupp. I do remember that. It was Kyler Murray. That's who it was. It was Kyler Murray, and we didn't get him in there in time. What can you do? I'm actually much happier with this, so good stuff. But yeah, Will Fuller, Marvin Jones, and then the upside of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Byron Pringle. You love to see it. And then I'm actually really happy with our tight ends. I'm actually really happy with this team overall. Jonnu Smith, Rob Gronkowski, Jared Cook. I think we are going to be able to put up a top 7 or 8 tight end every week with upside that's higher than that. But I think between the 3 of them, we'll have at least one really good starting one each week. So I feel pretty confident in that. We've got 4 buys in each, 4 or more buys in each of week 9 and 13. So let's take a look at that. I know both of our quarterbacks, Russ and Brady, are in week 9. Who else is in week 9? Obviously, DK Metcalf. You can't have some Seahawks, but not the others on bye. So obviously, DK Metcalf and then Amon-Ra St. Brown. Not worried about that. Rob Gronkowski as well, of course. Sorry. Both of our stacks are going to be off in week 9. So week 9, probably looking a little bit rough as far as points for us. Week 13, we're going to be missing Ryan Tannehill. That's okay. We're going to be missing Christian McCaffrey and Chuba Hubbard. That's all right. That's all right. Ooh, and A.J. Dillon. Yeah, week 13, running back. That is something that we need to take a little bit more into account. We both of us. You're in this with me. You didn't do it either. So don't you maybe, I don't know, you maybe said it while you were listening, but I didn't hear it. I didn't hear you. But yeah, we're going to be, I mean, if Devontae Booker has the Giants role in week 13, then maybe we'll be all right. If he does not, then yeah, our RB2 in week 13 is going to be rather stinky. But it looks like that's it for week 13. Other than that, we're doing all right. We got 3 buys in week 7. Travis Etienne, Marvin Jones, Jared Cook. That's fine. We'll be able to survive that. That's all right. All right. So we're projected for 2,988 points. A little lower than I would have expected, but that's okay. Now, let's look at who else was in here. So like Zev. Zev was the guy who I thought did a really good job. Is he projected for higher than 2,988? Survey says nope. In his face. Yes, in his face. All right, so looking at his quarterbacks right here, I mean, yowza. Josh Allen, you love to see it. Derek Carr is his only other one. Nah, this is a problem. So, like, Josh Allen, probably going to be very good most weeks. But, I mean, even last year he had, I think, 4 games where he finished below 20 points. And Derek Carr is not going to bail you out often enough for that to be okay. I would have loved to have seen another quarterback on his team, somebody a little bit better than Derek Carr. He takes Derrick Henry, Chase Edmonds, Leonard Fournette, Kenyon Drake, David Johnson, and Devin Singletary. He's going to be able to put up a fine RB2 most weeks. I mean, he's going to have an extremely good RB1 every week, but his RB2 is going to be probably not as good as most people's RB2s. His receivers, they're probably going to be as good as anybody's. A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Tyler Lockett, Chase Claypool, and then Nelson Aguilar, Tyrell Williams, A.J. Green, and Nico Collins to round it out. So his top 4, I think, are very good. Now, he has no stacks so far. Yeah, no stacks for my man here. And then his tight ends, Noah Fant and Blake Jarwin. Seems fine. Noah Fant, he's probably a top 8 tight end by himself. And then adding in Blake Jarwin there with Dak Prescott. I mean, maybe Blake takes over a couple of games off the bench here and relegates Noah Fant to the bench if Blake gets a couple of games with some nice touchdowns, a couple of high yardage games, things like that. So a fine team, but not as fine as ours. All right, Bear Tank, 28-11. Ooh, even worse than ours. Justin Herbert, Trey Lance, Taysom Hill. He did take Taysom Hill. All right, so Taysom Hill, that's why we couldn't draft him. Off the board. Probably, yeah, right before us, for sure, right before us. Dalvin Cook, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Mike Davis, Ramondre Stevenson. So Ramondre Stevenson, depending on what happens in New England, Stevenson's got a shot. Things shuffle around there all the time anyway. So he's got a shot. He's got a shot. Sorry, I've been talking for a straight up hour. I've been trying not to do this on camera, but oh, that's nice. At King Soopers, they sell orange tangerine, I don't know, what is it, water additive, water enhancer. We call it squeezy juice because, we're children around here, but it's fantastic. Anyway, you don't care about water additives. Dalvin Cook, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Mike Davis. This guy is going to be able to put up 2 very good running backs every week. Obviously, Dalvin Cook, you love to see it. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Mike Davis, they will probably compete for that RB2 for a good number of weeks. Mike Davis, again, somebody who I don't think is going to stay at the tip top for the whole season. Yeah, here's where we run into a problem. Jamar Chase, Michael Gallup, Mike Williams, Marquise Brown, Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore, Paris Campbell, Denzel Mims, and Olamide Zaccheaus. Your wide receivers aren't as good as most people's are going to be. He does have George Kittle, so that's nice. But yeah, 28-11 is the projection. Yeah. All right, boys for life. 29-48. What was ours? 29-88, right? All right, so we're still winning. We've looked at 4 teams and we're still in the lead, and that's what really matters. If you listen to the draft is only the beginning episode, this is my favorite part. Our team is insane. Everybody else sucks. And I mean, I don't know what else you need. If we come back and there's money at the end of this, then that's great. That's great. But if there's not, at least we got to tell people who aren't even listening that their team sucks. All right, so what's this guy's team look like? Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, Ben Roethlisberger. Why did we take Big Ben? I guess if his arm is back, maybe he puts it all together and has a decent year this year. Sure. Jonathan Taylor, love to see it. Josh Jacobs, Zach Moss, Giovanni Bernard, do not love to see it. His receivers, Amari Cooper, Devonta Smith, Tyler Boyd, Antonio Brown, Mecole Hardman, Gabriel Davis, nice. T.Y. Hilton, Emmanuel Sanders, and Van Jefferson. So certainly, excuse me for a 94th time. My goodness. Another team that's got kind of he's got a lot of receivers, but kind of weak at receiver at the same time. Darren Waller and Anthony Ferkser. All right. Keep moving down here, see if we find anybody else who we like. 2905, Matthew Stafford, Daniel Jones, Drew Lock. Nah, I'm all right. We don't have to go through everybody's team. Josh Moe, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow. Oof. River John. Ooh, there's somebody who's got more than us. All right, let's take a peek at this real quick. So we got Lamar Jackson, Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, okay. Zeke, Trey Sermon, Ronald Jones, Latavius Murray. I don't love the running backs here. Zeke for sure. And I'm getting defensive because this guy's projected for more points than us. This team, nah. Zeke, obviously great. Trey Sermon, like I said, he has with my name is Jeff Wilson. There it is. I only remember the meme. My name is Jeff, not the actual guy's name. Jeff Wilson. He's down. So Raheem Mostert and Trey Sermon are the two main guys in San Francisco. Trey Sermon, maybe he takes that job. Maybe he gets, they're always going to split, but maybe he gets the 60 part of the 60-40 split. Ronald Jones, I mean, like I said, I don't know what's going on in that backfield. If Ronald Jones is the lead back, I don't think that he will be the one. I think he'll be the 1A at best. And then Latavius Murray, kind of what we were talking about with Chuba Hubbard. This is somebody else's handcuff. He's going to have a little bit of standalone value, and he may, score an odd touchdown here or something like that. Maybe break one off once or twice in the year, something like that, and get in there. But if something happens to Alvin Kamara, who is not on his team, then Latavius Murray jumps up in value by quite a bit, and that could end up paying off big time. So we've got some upside here at running back on top of Zeke. For wide receivers, we've got DeAndre Hopkins, awesome. Allen Robinson, awesome. Julio Jones, awesome. Courtland Sutton, awesome. And could even be more awesome if Aaron Rodgers comes to town. Aaron, I know that you're watching. Aaron, big fan of the show. Come on, buddy. Come on down to Denver. I know it's not you I have to convince. It's Gutekunst and was it Mark Murphy, the guy I was making fun of in the last episode. They probably listen to me. They probably respect my opinion after everything I've said about them. That's probably for sure. Curtis Samuel, Terrace Marshall, Brian Edwards, Jacoby Myers, Sammy Watkins. Okay. Jimmy Graham, Adam Troutman, and Tyler Higbee at tight end. So the tight ends, Adam Troutman, we talked about. He's got a chance to be the second target on, well, not the second target, because that's going to be Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. They're going to be 1-2. But of the non-running backs, he could be the second target there for them, as they just don't have anybody at wide receiver that you can really rely on. Yeah, I mean, I don't see the projection being higher than ours, but again, it's just a projection. We'll see at the end of the year. That'll be a fun episode when we come back and kind of go through all of our best ball drafts and be like, oh yeah, this one we nailed. And then one will be like, oh, what the hell was this? All right, let's see if anybody else is up there with us. Matthew, definitely not. ZKFFB, ooh, 2688. You hate to see it. All right, this is our man who did not take any running backs, and it is showing in his projection. My goodness. Tyreek Hill, Calvin Ridley, CeeDee Lamb, Robert Woods, Laviska Shenault. Great receivers. TJ Hawkinson, Logan Thomas, Hayden Hurst. I mean, starting with TJ Hawkinson, you got to like your tight ends for sure. Dak Prescott, you love that. But man, Gus Edwards, Jamal Williams, J.D. McKissick, Rashad Penny, Darrington Evans, James White, and Josh Kelly. That is not it at running back. That is not it. All right, a couple more here. Milwaukee Baller 32. He is projected ahead of us. Mahomes, Ryan, and Wentz. Okay. Aaron Jones, Cam Akers, Raheem Mostert, James Robinson, Melvin Gordon. Those are some good running backs. Big fan of those running backs. Terry McLaurin, big fan. Deontay Johnson, not a big fan, but I'm sure that his projection is very high because they expect him to get a zillion targets, even though he stinks out loud with them. Corey Davis, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Marcus Valdes-Scantling, and Alan Lazard. So 2 Giants, 2 Packers on his team here. Very odd. And then he's got Mark Andrews, Robert Tonyan, and Cole Kmet, who, with any luck, will bypass Jimmy Grandpa here this year in Chicago with Justin Fields and or Andy Dalton. Could see a big step forward for Cole Kmet. You would love to see it. Yeah, I like our receivers a lot more. And again, it's not a competition. I get defensive. I don't want to see this guy with more projected points than me. Get out of here. But yeah, I don't know. I prefer our team, and that's the way it should be. You know, the team that you draft is the team that you should prefer for sure. All right, this guy over 3,000 as well. Jared Goff, Justin Fields, Kirk Cousins. Okay. Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, Chris Carson, Myles Gaskin, Tony Pollard, and Alexander Mattison. So there is some big upside. This guy is going to be starting 2 running backs for sure every week that are going to be much better than most people's. From what we've seen here, a lot of people's RB2s are going to be kind of stinky. This guy's RB2 is going to be great most weeks, and he's got the upside there with Alexander Mattison and Tony Pollard. If anything happens to the guys ahead of them, then this guy's team is going to take a very large step forward. For receivers, see, in the end, now here's where it's not awesome. Stephon Diggs, that's awesome, for sure. Adam Thielen, for probably that's awesome. Deebo Samuel, Michael Pittman, Christian Kirk, getting a little sketchy. Jamison Crowder and Josh Palmer, next to nothings. Josh Palmer maybe not next to nothing. He could be somebody who has a couple of decent weeks. Certainly somebody that you'll take in best ball, but will almost certainly not touch in redraft. And then Dallas Goedert and Austin Hooper as tight ends. So pretty much Dallas Goedert, I think. And then what do we got? One team left. 2,900. All right. So that's fine. All right. So we're up there. We're what, 3rd or 4th? And I'm not mad about it. I'm pretty happy with this team. So we drafted from the 1 position. The last thing that we'll talk about, how do we feel about the 1 position? Pretty pretty good, I would say. Let's move back to the draft board here, and we'll kind of look how it went pick by pick for us. So here, let me see if I can zoom this in a bit for you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, there we are. That's a little nicer. So we start with Christian McCaffrey. We're never not going to take Christian McCaffrey at the 101. That's just is what it is. We take DK Metcalf and Michael Thomas with our next picks. Could have taken, your choice of Justin Jefferson, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, whoever you think. If you've got people ahead of Michael Thomas, that'd be totally fine. George Kittle, absolutely on the board there. I think that's about it, who I would take there. And then on our next picks, we had the options of Cooper Kupp, Kenny Golladay for our receivers, Travis Etienne, Mike Davis for our running backs. So I think this is probably, this is definitely the cutoff for running back for me. Probably Travis Etienne here. Mike Davis, I suppose, like if he's going to be your second, you can probably scoop him up and be okay with it for a bit. And maybe, if you're in a redraft league, you trade him after a couple of good weeks. But yeah, this is probably the cutoff for me. Josh Jacobs, not somebody I'm terribly interested in just because that backfield is going to be too unpredictable. I mean, there's a shot that he gets the same kind of workload as he has been getting the last 2 years, but all signs point to them not trusting him with it and having it be a split with Kenyon Drake. So I'm not about Josh Jacobs this year. But Chris Carson, David Montgomery, Travis Etienne, certainly people that I am interested in. So this is the cutoff for me for running back. So we took one here. And we took Cooper Kupp. So I guess other people that you could have taken if you want to take your quarterback here, we could have taken Kyler Murray like we had planned to, and that might have been fine. Like I said, I'm really, really happy with how our quarterbacks turned out, though. So I'm totally fine with that. And there's really not another receiver that I would have rather had than Cooper Kupp. There's not another running back I would have rather had than Cooper Kupp. And the next tight end that went, TJ Hawkinson. Maybe him, but again, I'm pretty happy with how our tight ends ended up. So I'm really happy with accidentally taking Cooper Kupp. That is something that is a happy accident for sure, like a Bob Ross painting, a little happy accident. So yeah, I feel like even through in best ball leagues for sure, where these quarterbacks that we're taking here, I would not love to have, and most people aren't going to be taking multiple quarterbacks before us, so it should dry up a little bit sooner than it did. But I'm really happy with the options that we had at pretty much every pick here, through A.J. Dillon, Marvin Jones, Jonnu Smith, Rob Gronkowski, Jared Cook. The last maybe 4 picks were a little whatever, but they're the last 4 picks, so they're always going to be pretty whatever, I would say. So yeah, drafting from the 1 spot, you get Christian McCaffrey, and let me bump this up so you can see down to the bottom here. There we are. I'm pretty happy with it. Getting Christian McCaffrey, certainly nothing that you will ever turn away. You're always going to want Christian McCaffrey. That's just very easy. And then everything else seemed pretty fine. So far from the drafts that we've done here, where I'm generally drafting in like the late middle, the 6, 7, 8-ish area, I certainly prefer the 101. I like people in the first round, like Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, Cam Akers, people like that. I like them in the first round. Not as much as Christian McCaffrey, but I don't mind our first pick. So Christian McCaffrey versus those guys. Yes, Christian McCaffrey is better, but it's not going to deter me from picking at the later stages. And for myself personally, in the single redraft league that I do, because man, there's some people that I don't know how, but like if you're in like 6 or 7 leagues and you commit the time to each of those, or more than that, for crying out loud, like I know people who are in like 12 leagues, 10, 12 leagues, and that's just that's just nonsense to me, man. I don't have time for that. And I feel like I've got a decent amount of free time. I mean, I do spend a lot of time on the podcast here on research and things like that. So that probably can't happen. But I picked up a 4th league this year, and that's probably too much. That's probably too much for me. I don't have that kind of time. But anyway, to the story I was going to tell. In the one redraft league that I do, we do a March Madness bracket. I think I've talked about this on the show before, but in any event, we do a March Madness bracket to determine pick order, and I am going to be picking towards the back. So, getting a little taste of the 101 here. I'm very excited about it. I'm going to be able to root for Christian McCaffrey in every week that I'm not playing directly against him. So that'll be nice to be able to kind of ride that train. I don't think I've ever had Christian McCaffrey on a team of mine before, so this will be fun. It's not for a lot of money, but at least it'll give me some ability to enjoy his absolutely busted games more than I would otherwise normally do. So that is, I think, going to do it for this week. That's all that we've got. So check us out on the website. The website has been updated. It is starting to get more things. I know I said that I would get the show docs up there, and I did not. This weekend was a lot busier than I expected it to be. Since I know I didn't touch on it there at the start, we'll throw it out there real quick. Yesterday for me was Saturday. So a couple of days ago for you by the time that you're watching this, but Saturday morning, my grandma flew out here from Boston. My grandpa passed away last year, so we were going to spread his ashes. So that was a good deal of the day. It was a really nice time, honestly. Spreading ashes is never something that you're like, hooray! But it was good for everybody to be together and for us to do that all together. It was good. It was needed. When COVID happened, we weren't allowed to be there, so that was a huge bummer. So now we're all together, and it felt better. So that's a sad story. Everybody relax about it. You don't need to worry about all that. So Saturday, that got chewed up real quick, and then oh my god, I went into the deepest, darkest Photoshop hole, creating the little name cards like I did talk about. Like, whew, good lord, I went deep into a hole on that one. And then today, Father's Day for me. Again, Sunday for me, Tuesday for you guys. But Father's Day, that was a busy one. Did talk about that a little bit. Today was busy. So anyway, long-winded version of didn't get the show docs up on the website as reading material. So they are still certainly available as podcasts. So go and listen to all of those until such time as they are up. But again, the rookie rankings, they have been updated. The videos are on there. All of the podcasts are on there. The first 2 articles are on there. So there is plenty of stuff on the website there. So check that out, thefantasytheory.com. Follow me on Instagram. I've been doing, like I said, a lot of that Photoshop, which is for the Instagram. So follow the Instagram. It is at The Fantasy Theory. And follow us on Twitter. You'll see a lot of the same stuff on the Instagram as the Twitter. A lot of the information will go to multiple outlets. So follow me on either, hopefully both. But that is Fantasy Theory 1. Twitter only gives you 15 characters to work with as a name. And The Fantasy Theory is 16 characters. You hate to see it. We do have the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. So find your player of choice and listen to us on there. And if you do have the time, please do leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps me out to help you out to make the show better, and it helps the show out to get it across the eyes of more viewers, the eyes for the video and the ears for the podcasts. It works for both. So please do put a review on there with your honest opinion. I would certainly love to have 5 stars, but please leave your honest opinion. That is so helpful to me right now. It would really mean a lot, and again, it's extremely helpful for me and for the podcast as growth for both. But that will do it. Thank you so much for listening. If you're listening, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching, I would be surprised if you were watching but not listening. But hey, there's a draft board. Maybe you just got it on mute while you're at work. You shouldn't be doing it. So you got it on mute. But in any event, thank you so much for tuning in any way that you did. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.